So, what did we just see right there? What did we see? An utter collapse from one club from the second minute on, and then Manchester United taking advantage.
Yeah, well done, Manchester United. Yeah, we talked at half-time whether they should go for more goals or rest players and give players some minutes that need it, etc., etc. Well, they did both. And you can't ask for any more than that. Well managed by the manager. The ruthlessness to keep going forward, and everybody was getting forward, wanting to get their goals. Was it 7 different goal scorers? So well done, Manchester United. Southampton, and I know there's the young players, I know the injuries, but that's still not acceptable, by the way. It's just not acceptable. You go 10 men, you're like 8-0 down with 10 men. Just a collapse, a capitulation. Twice now 9-0 for this manager and this team. Just, for me, really disappointing.
I mean, credit to Manchester United. Goal difference might be important. We talked about that. They were 14 behind Manchester City. Now that's down 19 already, so that's down to 5 difference. Listen, you got Martial, goals. You got Rashford, a bit of rest. He got goals today. You know, Bruno Fernandes with the assists again. A lot of things that Manchester United would want happened. And before the game, we were talking that, you know, the big sides against teams like this going on and get 5 and 6. United went on and got 7, 8 and 9. So credit to Manchester United, in good shape now to go into Everton. From Southampton's point of view, sometimes I think managers, and Ralph Hasenhüttl has got such a philosophy about football and doing the right thing. Some days, like the situation they're in, block it up and keep it 2 or 3 and move on to another day. That's another hurtful defeat.
You just asked me, didn't you, at half-time, like, you know, I said damage limitation.
Yeah.
They didn't. And now that's damage.
Yeah.
That's real damage now, scarring to get that result again.
They were able to brush off that 9-0 loss to Leicester a couple years ago and maybe build from it, learn from it. That was once. This has now happened for a second time. A lot of goal scorers for Manchester United, including Marcus Rashford, scoring for the first time since December for him. His comments after the game. Ralph is thinking, great, now another 9-0 game that everyone can remind me about into the future. So what do you take from this game for Southampton? Is this one of those where you can just brush off and say it was a weird game, we had academy guys out there, or is it going to stick with them?
It is going to stick with them. And, you know, it was his decision to play the 2 young players. Now, I know the bench is full of young players. Nathan Redmond is on the bench, an experienced player that could have played. So it's his call. I just don't like the look. I mean, we've played in teams. I've played in teams where you get a man sent off early, and it's not that kind of number of goals. I just think, wow, that's twice now. You know, there's got to be a little bit of fight, a little bit of pride to keep a shape and to track runners and to not make a 6-0, I think it was, before the second incident with the, you know, it's... But he's done it before. You know, he's very sheepish there, and rightly so. It happened before. They recovered well. I think they'll recover OK. So it's a strong club and a strong team and a strong manager. But it's just, you know, I'm not going to just brush it off as one of those days and that young players and an early sending off. That's embarrassing.
How bad a look was it for him?
It's a bad look, and when the alarm bells went on, the team didn't react. Sometimes you've got to go, hold on, forget about the football, let's stay in. You know, you stay with the runners, let's block it off. That didn't happen now. The young lad thing is interesting because when a young player, and he's probably got so excited, he's probably so excitable about that game, his debut at Manchester United, he comes out with a rash challenge. He's got so many kids on the bench that he can't bring anybody experienced on to change that round, or doesn't trust the experienced players. And the only good thing you could say for Ralph Hasenhüttl is he's had this experience once and he knows how to try and get this team back again. He's a good coach, but as all good coaches, you've got to learn them. And if your team are struggling, if your team sometimes need to block it up, you've got to forget your philosophy and stop conceding goals.
Last time that Southampton won in the Premier League was when they beat Liverpool. Ralph dropped to his knees. He was teary-eyed. Seems like a distant memory for Southampton as they go down 9-0 at Old